Parents of Reddit, what is the best weird flex but okay moment you've seen from your child? My 10-month-old son hates being changed. Recently he figured out that if he grabs his balls in a death grip with one of his hands, it makes it impossible to get the diaper on him. I die a little inside every time he does this. When my son was about 5 we went to visit relatives in the Washington, D.C. area. We were on the metro when my son eyed a very pretty professional young woman. "I've got a lot of blocks," he told her. "If you come to my room I'll show you." Then he made motorcycle noises for about 10 seconds. My son told me he doesn't need school because he already knows the name of 10 dinosaurs. Edit, for anyone who wants to know. My son's favorite dino is the Spinosaurus. When my brother was 2 or 3 he rolled down the car window to get the attention of the gas station attendant and shouted, "Hey mister, I got a piece." He had a mullet. If that helps paint a better picture. My 7-year-old said, "I know everything until you ask me a question." Well, okay. A master of quantum knowledge I see. Just a couple days ago, my 2-year-old son woke up so I went to change him. I pulled his jammy pants off, then went to undo the diaper, and the whole time he has this look on his face like he's waiting for something. I pulled the diaper off the front of him and boing, he's got a boner. He even smiled big and threw his arms up at the moment of reveal, like ta-da. When I wasn't appropriately amazed and merely continued with changing him, he pointed at it and said, loudly and forcefully, "That's mine." "Yes, my dear, that is your piece. Congratulations. I'm definitely gonna try this move tonight. My wife will be thrilled." My son started 2nd grade this week. A couple of weeks ago the school sent out postcards with the date and time of the open house and his teacher's name. I asked him if he was excited to be in Mrs. So-and-so's class, and he said yes, but he's also worried. I asked what he was worried about and he said, "What if she falls in love with me and wants to marry me?" I laughed and reassured him that he need not worry, since she's already married. When my kids was potty training, he was in a phase where he loved temporary tattoos. We used tattoos as a reward for a successful potty trip. He got so he was covered on both arms, back and chest. We didn't think much of it, living in Seattle, until one summer day we took him to the wading pool. For one of the first times in public, we took his shirt off, and he strode out into the pool with his toddler robes, and Thomas the Tank Train shorts, looking like he had just finished a hard set of reps at the free weights in the prison yard. My daughter, 3, can poop in the backyard without anyone knowing. I picked it up for weeks wondering why the dog's poop looked so weird. I looked out of the sliding glass door one day while my girls were playing. I saw my 3-year-old pooping in the middle of the yard. Her older sister, 5, sprayed her with the water hose as soon as the log hit the ground. It was a spectacular scene, and I will never let them forget it. When my son was about 6, he was in the back seat with a friend, and he boasted that he had once thrown up his entire Chinese dinner on his bedroom carpet and you could see the food and everything. My 7-years-old daughter didn't want our house guests to go in her room because that might see her awards, good grades, taekwondo belts. She worried they would think she was famous. When my son was potty training, I started letting him do the cleanup, then I'd have to finish. After a bit of this, he figured he was pretty well good to go on his own, and he was very big boy about it. So for the next couple of weeks, he'd do his thing, which always included stripping naked, then come running out to wherever I was, bend over with his cheeks spread, and shout, "Hey, Mom." I wiped my butt all by myself. Look it. My kid, 5, is obsessed with cars. Lives and breaths motorsport. He's driving his go-kart in the driveway and our neighbors yell over, "Wow, you're amazing, kiddo." And kid yells back dead serious, "I know I'm a better driver than most of the grown-ups I know." He's honestly not wrong. Tonight my 3-year-old stopped midway up the stairs and turned slowly to me and said, "Mom. Earlier, while you were out, I put on my pants all by myself." I have no idea why he emphasized every word, but then he smirked and turned and kept climbing the stairs. Big day. The kid is really going places. Had an Amber Alert hit my phone one night while my then 6-year-old was playing a game on it. She asks what that was and I explained it's a message that gets sent out if a kid gets kidnapped. She looks at it again and sees it's for a town over 2 hours from where we live. She then asks me why they sent to if it's so far away. I said because they want everyone to look and find the kid. Wouldn't you want everyone to look if you got kidnapped? They want to find the kid so they don't get killed. She leans over close to my ear and whispers I'm very difficult to kill. I was playing cops and robbers with my son and my niece, both about 3 at the time. They put me in the jail, the sofa, and proceeded to walk out of the room. As she's exiting, my niece turns to me with a deadpan face and goes, "Watch your back." Then just leaves. I was throwing my nieces in the pool and the 4-year-old grabbed a pool noodle and looked right at me to say, "Today, you're gonna get hurt." My son, 4 at the time, was, I guess, trying to impress the 6-year-old neighbor girl. He leaned casually on his arm and said, "I have lots of accidents. Pee and poop accidents. I hope for his sake his pickup lines improve. So I heard you're into bad boys. Because I'm really bad at everything." Winks with both eyes at once. When I was 6, my absent father came back into my life briefly and I paraded him around all of my friends bragging, saying, "This is my dad." I bet you thought I didn't have a dad, but I did. He was gone again within a month. While leaving a family gathering, my cousin asked my little boy for a fist bump. My child refused. Cousin said, "Come on, why no fist bump?" My kid, 5 at the time, looks him straight in the eye and says, "I don't want to break every bone in your arm." My 3-year-old said to me the other day, "Mom, I feel, and I don't feel, like some profound genius." My 9-year-old talks in oxymorons. He'll say things like it's cold outside but kind of hot. And I don't like it but I kind of do. It drives me up the wall. So, my 7-year-old has always been ... eccentric. I started keeping a log of some things she says in passing on my phone when she was 3, and there are some good ones I feel apply to this thread. Something smells like chocolate and it's coming from the inside of my mouth. Yeah, well, I can read blank spaces. Chickens have chicken in their bodies. Most of these are responses to her older sister bragging about something she did to excel in school. Not a kid, but when I was 5, I had a mad crush on the 20-year-old daughter of this wealthy family friend of ours. I had asked for her hand in marriage and she agreed willingly. Playful to her but fully serious on my part, she was carrying her soon-to-be groom when her mother confronted me. "You need to have money if you want to marry my daughter." I looked right into her eyes and without missing a beat reached into my little pockets and tossed her a penny. Her face priceless, my smirk flawless. My game never peaked again. My wife brought my 3-year-old son to my job site, since he really wanted to drive the excavator. So my uncle, who operates the excavator, lets him dig some holes and play around while sitting on my uncle's lap. He then comes up to me and says, "Daddy, I want to drive the excavator with you." I told him I don't know how to, you have to go with your uncle. His reply, "It's okay Daddy, I'll teach you," with the biggest smirk on his face. When I was an after-school tutor for primary school kids, I excused a boy to the bathroom. He came back telling me he made the biggest poo in the world. He intentionally didn't flush so that I could come look at it. I told him that was great, but it was art time. He said his big poo was art. A regular Pablo Picasso. Please consider liking, commenting and subscribing.